And ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to this 9th day of August. Well, it is a glorious day right here in Brisbane. 14 degrees and sunny at the moment. Well, it's looking just absolutely wonderful. Hi, some news for you today. We don't have the daily India report. It's being a holiday in India. And of course, we know there are many holidays, bank holidays and other things like that. So we'll bring to you as soon as the next one becomes available. So today we will be talking a lot about the upcoming India Day fair. But once again, the big news everyone's waking up to is that Olivia Newton-John is no more. She passed away at 73. Of course, she's put Australia on the map because she was very young when her talent got discovered, and she made way to London, and from there rest is history of what she did. And until about 47 years, when she was diagnosed with that cancer, she, of course, invested so much money, raised so much funds for that Cancer Research Centre, which is named after her. So today we mourn the passing away of Olivia Newton-John, an Australian icon, passed away at age 73. First of all, let's get some update on the latest news update, and then we will be going into some of the other news. And of course, today we're looking at India Day Fair.
In breaking news this morning, Olivia Newton-John has died at the age of 73. The four-time Grammy Award winner is best known for her role in the 1978 musical Grease, in which she sang You're the One That I Want with John Travolta, one of the world's best-selling singles. The British-born Australian star has also become a campaigner for breast cancer awareness after her own diagnosis in the 1990s. Messages posted to her official social media pages say the star passed away peacefully at her ranch in Southern California this morning, surrounded by her family and friends.
John Barilaro has declared he wished he had never applied for a plum US trade role, claiming he's a victim, not a perpetrator. For the first time, the former New South Wales Deputy Premier has faced serious questioning about his appointment to the job at a parliamentary inquiry, where he doubled down on his claims there was an independent recruitment process.
A 49-year-old man has been charged with 2 counts of murder after what police called a frenzied attack in Brisbane South. Detectives found the bodies of a woman in her 40s and a man in his early 20s at a home in Stretton yesterday, with 2 bladed weapons recovered.
The monkeypox vaccine rollout has begun in earnest around the country, with Victoria receiving its first batch of doses today. It comes after New South Wales began administering doses to those at high risk of contracting the infection, and NT Health says the vaccine is expected to arrive in the Territory in the next week.
So those are the top stories and breaking news. And as we have also already heard about Olivia Newton-John, and she passed away. Well, such is life. But of course, we know the things that she did, amazing. And of course, with John Travolta, all the singles and the movies, everything, may her soul rest in peace.
A gaming minister not prepared to take a punt on the fate of a new pokies plan.
I don't want to be seen to be influencing the decision either way.
Sydney-based hospitality giant Iris Capital, which runs numerous Alice Springs pubs, hotels and its casino, Lassiter's, has applications in to install 60 new poker machines across the town, on top of 100 new machines it installed at Lassiter's since taking over the venue last year.
We need to make very responsible decisions about the welfare of the people of Central Australia, and this does not include, or should not include, adding more poker machines to the mix.
Alice Springs already faces dizzying rates of social woes, which Robin Lamley believes will be exacerbated by more pokies. She's urged the minister to step up and voice his opinion.
He's the minister, the buck stops with him, and any decisions that are made about poker machines are ultimately his responsibility.
It would be inappropriate for myself to make comments on that, given that the application has the potential for an appeal.
Iris Capital does have its supporters, with the NT hospitality industry peak body getting behind the plans.
There's a lot of problem gambling that goes on in unregulated community card game houses in the streets, in the public parks. People can sit at home and bet online and lose their house. We never see any focus on that. It's always on the pub with the light on.
The Minister today announced a range of new measures to help beef up the NT's code of practice for responsible gambling, including having additional signage in pokie rooms. Coincidentally, it came on the same day as one of Iris Capital's applications for more pokies closed for public comment. Matt Garrick, ABC News.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. So there's applications for new ones, and the minister owned the sign off on that. He doesn't want to make a decision which could also come back to them, or a parliamentary inquiry that could be triggered off with that. But right now, let's go to the next news. When will wages catch up with cost of living? This catching up is okay, all right. You increase this, something else needs to go up to balance, then you want the same situation. Then something else goes up and it catches up with the next thing on the side. I mean, about wages, cost of living, on the food. So everything just seems to be going up, but are people better off? Even if the amount was less, the figures that we're talking about were less, but affordability and the quality of life was, of prime importance. Wouldn't that make a little bit more difference? But anyway, here's this report.
In Melbourne's outer suburbs, this homegrown company builds complex robotic tools used to make components for mobile phones and computers. And management here says that requires paying humans bigger wages.
If we don't have right people, then we're not going to be able to succeed in the marketplace, so we've got to pay what the market's asking.
Anchor has lifted the wages of all staff to deal with inflation and to try and fill over 100 positions.
It started out as that and it became broader because, I think it's not just inflation, it's also been the really hot market.
Unemployment is at record lows and there's a smaller supply of available workers. But wage growth has barely moved. With the soaring inflation in the cost of food, fuel and interest rates, people are going backwards. And the Reserve Bank doesn't see wages rising faster than inflation until at least the end of 2023.
10 years we've been told that some magic wage growth fairy will come along and one day boost wages. The only way that wages can grow in Australia is if employers pay their workers higher wages.
Australia's busiest job site is seeing salaries rising in some roles while barely moving in others. Some companies are offering perks and flexibility instead of more money. And the evidence is the best way to get a pay rise is to get a new job.
The wage change for those who've moved employers is significantly higher than those who haven't.
So far, most wage increases are averaging around 2.5%, well below inflation, which is soaring past 6%. But in-demand roles like tech and project management are getting big increases.
As a general rule across the economy, wages pressures are not high.
Nobel Prize winner Joseph Stiglitz says higher wages means more productive employees.
They need to be higher. The only thing Australians might feel good about is that they're better than what's happening in the United States, where things are devastating.
New Zealand has a similarly low unemployment rate, but wages there are growing at 7%, almost level with inflation. Businesses here say their ability to boost pay packets is being constrained by other rising costs.
So digital equipment, building materials, fuel, freight, they're the big ones we've been hearing about.
Wage growth was a key election promise from the government. In the month leading up to its job summit, it'll be floating ideas to change bargaining and boost worker power. Some of that will be unpopular with segments of business. But with living standards on the slide for years, there's an appetite for change.
What the data says is that profits are rising across Australia. Collectively, firms have never had it so good.
Anchor might make computer-controlled tools, but it couldn't do anything without its 1,300 staff.
And the only way to succeed is if you have better people. And as I said, we're in a pretty competitive market. We're a global leader in its technology. So if you're not coming to the forefront with the best technology, then you're not going to win.
When wages data is released next week, we'll find out if Australia's employers feel the same way.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, yes, that debate, as I mentioned before, is the vicious circle. Where do we stop and how do we catch up and make an equal balance? Well, of course, the argument is employers should pay more, and obviously employers could if there was the profit. Some employers can, some can't. So it cannot be just like that. Every situation is slightly different. There are sectors which are doing very well, like the tech sector. Well, of course, if you're fortunate enough to be in that sector, you will make a lot of money. And then you're able to, you can afford to pay. Or the other thing could be government subsidy. As we know that when the JobKeeper came in, that helped a lot of small businesses. So some subsidy, some incentives like that, I'm pretty sure that employers would love to have happy employees, pay them the right amount or above average as well, as long as they can afford and they're not going under. So that's another situation as well. So that equation needs to be looked at as well. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned before, that today we will also look at India Day Fair. So, when we look at India Day Fair, let's look at what's actually happening. Once again, GoPio Queensland presents iconic India Day Fair,
celebrating India's Independence Day on 13th August.
Come experience India at no cost at Roma Street Parklands.
Experience India's culture, music and food.
You will be entertained from 10:30 a.m. till 8:30 p.m. by many talented artists.
The program will begin with a parade from various community organizations,
finishing off with a grand finale laser light show.
Showstopper, one and only the Harbhajan Man, all the way from India.
Come join GoPio Queensland for a fun-filled family day and experience all that India has to offer.
For more information, visit our website www.gopioqueensland.org.
See you all there. Station sponsor, GoPio Queensland.
ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਜੀ, ਮੈਂ ਹਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਹਰਭਜਨ ਮਾਨ। ਐਕਸਪਰਟ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਐਂਡ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦੇ ਸੱਦੇ ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਖੂਬਸੂਰਤ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਖੂਬਸੂਰਤ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਬ੍ਰਿਸਬੇਨ ਵਿਖੇ 13 ਅਗਸਤ ਨੂੰ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਭ ਨੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰਾਂ ਸਮੇਤ ਪਹੁੰਚਣਾ। GoPio ਦੇ ਖਾਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪ੍ਰਬੰਧ ਹੇਠ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਪਿਆਰ ਮੁਹੱਬਤ ਖਲੂਸ ਦਾ ਇਹ ਭਰਿਆ ਸੱਦਾ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਗੀਤ ਸੰਗੀਤ ਦਾ ਗੁਲਦਸਤਾ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਭ ਨੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰਾਂ ਸਮੇਤ ਤਿਆਰੀ ਰੱਖਣਾ। ਮਿਲਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ ਆਪਾਂ 13 ਅਗਸਤ ਨੂੰ।
And as of course we know that every year the India Day Fair is held at Roma Street Parklands, except for last year when it went to Suncorp Piazza. But this year, once again, we are back at Roma Street Parklands. Now, every year we have many people who like to invite you to come to that India Day Fair. So let's take a look at few of the people who are trying to invite you to come there. First up is young Ishana.
Hello everybody, my name is Ishana Chandra and I'd like to invite you to India Day Fair on the 13th of August at Roma Street Parklands. See you all there, bye!
And like Ishana, we have our famous and our very adorable grandma who has been inviting everyone every year. Let's see what she has to say. And of course, we know India is a very diverse country. From down south to up north, we have many different languages. So this one is in Punjabi.
राम राम पुत्तर राम राम ਜਿਉਂਦੇ ਰਹੋ ਮੈਂ ਨਾ ਪਾਠ ਕਰਕੇ ਉੱਠੀ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨਾ ਕਦੇ ਕਦੇ ਚੇਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਹਾਏ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਗੋਪੀਓ ਵਾਲੇ ਨਾ 13 ਅਗਸਤ ਨੂੰ ਮਨਾ ਰਹੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਬੜੀ ਸ਼ਾਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਭਾਰਤ ਦਾ ਸਵਤੰਤਰਤਾ ਦਿਵਸ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਡੇ ਫੇਅਰ ਸਵੇਰੇ 10:30 ਵਜੇ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਰਾਤ ਦੇ 8:30 ਵਜੇ ਤੱਕ ਰੋਮਾ ਸਟਰੀਟ ਪਾਰਕਲੈਂਡ ਤੇ ਹੈ ਮੇਰੇ ਤੇ ਗੋਡੇ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਲਦੇ ਪਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਣਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਹੈ ਪੁੱਤ ਹਰਭਜਨ ਮਾਨ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਹਰਭਜਨ ਮਾਨ ਬੜੇ ਹੀ ਮਿੱਠੇ ਗਾਣੇ ਗਾਉਂਦਾ ਹਾਏ ਕਲੇਜੇ ਨੂੰ ਠੰਡ ਪੈ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਸੁਣਨ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਆਵੋਗੇ ਹੈ ਫਿਰ ਮਿਲਾਂਗੇ 13 ਅਗਸਤ ਨੂੰ ਰੋਮਾ ਸਟਰੀਟ ਪਾਰਕਲੈਂਡ ਤੇ ਰਾਮ ਰਾਮ
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen, the most adorable and our very, very famous Babaji or grandma who comes and invites us every year to be at Roma Street Parklands. And as I mentioned before, that India is a very diverse nation. Next message is from one of our presenters, RJ Sabi, whom you all know and love, and she's here with your invitation to India Day Fair in Marathi.
नमस्कार मी सावी ऑस्ट्रेलियन इंडियन रेडिओ आणि गोपियो तर्फे तुम्हाला खास हे सांगण्यासाठी आलेली आहे की 15 ऑगस्ट 2022 ला भारताला स्वातंत्र्य मिळून 75 वर्ष पूर्ण होत आहेत हा अमृत महोत्सवी दिवस साजरा करण्यासाठी गोपियोने इंडिया डे फेअरचे आयोजन केलेले आहे 13 ऑगस्ट 2022 ला रोमा स्ट्रीट पार्कलँड ब्रिस्बेन मध्ये हा कार्यक्रम सकाळी 10:30 ते रात्री 8:30 वाजेपर्यंत असणार आहे जिथे दिवसभर आपले मनोरंजन करण्यासाठी येणार आहेत ब्रिस्बेनचे स्थानिक कलाकार आणि संध्याकाळी इथे आपण खास आमंत्रित केलेले आहे पंजाबातून इंडियाहून येणार आहेत हरभजन मान आपल्या संगीताचा कार्यक्रम ते प्रस्तुत करणार आहेत आणि त्याचबरोबर इथे दिवसभर असणार आहे विविध स्टॉल्स त्यामुळे खाण्यापिण्याची सुद्धा इथे भरपूर रेलचेल असणार आहे त्यामुळे तुम्ही सगळेजण 13 ऑगस्टला नक्की या इंडिया डे फेअरला रोमा स्ट्रीट पार्कलँडला आपण सगळेजण मिळून आपल्या भारताचा स्वातंत्र्याचा हा अमृत महोत्सव धूमधडाक्यात साजरा करूया लक्षात ठेवा इंडिया डे फेअर 13 ऑगस्ट 2022 सकाळी 10:30 ते रात्री 8:30 वाजेपर्यंत रोमा स्ट्रीट पार्कलँड ब्रिस्बेनला जय हिंद
Jai Hind, that very well said, very well done both of those. Ajay Savi and the first one was Madhu Khanna, if you didn't recognize her. They're both presenters at Australian Indian Radio, and well done. So, we'll bring more messages from other people who have been supporting India Day Fair and inviting you all to come and take part in India Day Fair. So, ladies and gentlemen, isn't that wonderful that we've got this support from the community and everyone's trying and everyone's encouraging each and every one of us to come and attend. Now, a message from Australian Indian Radio and Brisbane Indian Times. Ladies and gentlemen, that's about all we have time for today. So let's wait for tomorrow. And of course, tomorrow is Eka Day in Brisbane. So it's a public holiday. But today we go to press with Brisbane Indian Time, and keep an eye out for the brand new copy coming out this weekend. Until tomorrow, it's goodbye from us.